When you are going through burnout, it is truly the worst. You're just exhausted. Those like dark injections of color. I'm also really loving anything suede. Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Dream Bigger podcast. So today I am here with a solo, and the focus is fall reset. So right now it is the 16th of September as I record this, and I know that kind of going in from summer to fall can be a bit of a transition. I personally really love fall, but that being said, making sure that you have boundaries around your work, rather non-negotiables, I think. I can completely relate to those of you who may be feeling like a little bit of like the blues after summer is ending. But that being said, I do love fall, and I think the best way to kind of get out of the post-summer blues is diving into a whole reset for the season. So look, I live in LA, but I like to pretend that I have like crisp fall weather, you know? And so I do my house up accordingly. I have like whole routines and rituals to do with this new season and entering this new season. So that kind of always makes things really exciting. So I have different categories that I'll go through: health, home decor, fashion, and just activities. And then I'm going to get into the Q&A portion of the episode. So let's start with health. So as I just said, I got back from 2 weeks in Europe. And so I was in the south of Spain with my family in Andalusia. And then I was in Ibiza with my friend Jenna Zoe. So Nish and I went there to see her. She's incredible. And we just had such a good time. And then we ended in Paris and came back. So obviously, it was 2 weeks of eating out every single day for every meal. And even though, you know, I was still particular in terms of ensuring that I was starting my day with like protein and never like something sweet, but still, you know, you're eating out. And obviously there was a lot more sugar being consumed than normal. So basically what I'm doing is I feel like my body really needs a reset after being away for 2 weeks. So the most important thing that I'm going to call out is that I'm cutting out sugar until the end of the month. Look, I understand that everyone's different in their approach to how they want to deal with this, but personally, I'm someone who does really well if I cut out sugar or like have periods of just like cutting it out and then reintroducing it back in. I feel like my skin is better, I feel better, I'm less lethargic. So I'm just cutting out desserts until the end of the month, which is really doable. So I feel like I'll just feel a lot better after doing that. And I really do feel like my body needs to kind of cut sugar out. I feel like I've gotten to that point where I had so much of it that I'm kind of sick of it. Does that make sense? So it should be fairly easy to do. I'm 3 days in and it's fine. The next thing is getting back into being really particular about the food that I'm eating throughout the week. So I'm getting back into ensuring that my meals are prepped for the week, you know, making sure that each meal has the protein content that I really want it to have. So every day, as always, begins with a high protein breakfast, and this kind of changes based on the day or whatever. But since we've been back, I've been kind of off the smoothies just because I feel like I'm getting into fall. And so what I've been doing lately is, oh my God, you guys, this is really good, but I've been doing 2 eggs, and then on the side, I've been getting the Kung Pao salmon salad from Sua Supret, which is in Larchmont in LA. And my God, this thing is so yummy. But basically, like, if you don't have access to Sua Supret, I think that's fine. It's just, you know, making sure that you're getting some sort of like an animal protein. I feel like that's just personally for me the easiest way to get my protein content in. And then a green salad on the side or whatever. So it's just something savory. So as I said, like from there, you know, I've been leaning into like more warm, nourishing foods, which is why I've not been feeling like I really want a smoothie. It's just colder. I feel like the weather is getting a little bit cooler, kind of. It's been overcast in LA. So I've just been leaning into the warm, nourishing foods. I'm also really excited to make soups. So actually this weekend, I'm going to try a new soup recipe. I I'm obsessed with soups, okay? Like, I mean, look, I grew up in Toronto. Like, that's kind of what I did anytime fall rolled around. And so I love every kind of different soup and I just love making it. So I'm going to try a soup recipe over the weekend. And I don't know, it just gets me really excited for fall. So, also, on top of that, now that it's fall as well, I know that the flavored coffees, like the pumpkin spice and all of that, is back. And I personally like to make a version of this at home, and it's really easy. All I do is into my Americano, I just add the pumpkin spice, like spice mix. You can get it at Trader Joe's. You can probably even get it at Whole Foods, to be honest. And I just add that in, and it's like this like nice, like warming kind of cozy blend. I know as well Nespresso has pumpkin spice pods. I don't use an espresso anymore. I use a Breville, like a big coffee machine, like a proper machine. And so I just add the spice mix into it. Something else that I did today, oh my God, you guys, this is so good. So Alexa on my team got me on this like very specific coffee order from Erewhon. So it's basically an Americano with a little bit of their steamed house-made coconut milk. So I don't like to buy my coffee from outside like as much as I can avoid it. So what I've started to do is I buy that coconut milk from them and, make that same coffee at home. But what I've been doing is I've been adding the pumpkin spice mix to the steamed coconut milk, and it just makes it so like yummy and comforting. So that's another way that I've been adding that whole fall touch to my routine. And then, of course, when it comes to overall like workouts and all of that, it's pretty like standard for me. I've talked about this in other previous episodes. I work out 5 days a week. Three of those days is dedicated to weightlifting, and then 2 days I do cardio, or like I'll do 1 day cardio and 1 day Pilates. And right now I've been trying to get back into running for no other reason than to build up my endurance. I think it's really, really important, and it's not something I care to ignore because it's just important for overall well-being. So my trainer has me on like a running program, so I'm just doing that 2 times a week. So that is basically all things health, on the health and wellness front, that I'm like kind of doing for fall. Some of this is just variations of what I normally do, and then others are just an exciting way for me to lean into the season, which goes into, from here, home decor. So I find that home decor is an easy way to lean into every season. And I personally really love to decorate my home for fall. It's actually like fall and winter, like Christmas time and fall, are like my 2 favorite seasons to decorate for, because you can just have so much fun with your decor. So I love to add dark, kind of cozy, textured touches to my home. And a fun way that I do that is, like, obviously you can just get like nice, like cute little decor pieces from Amazon. If you've seen pictures of my home on my Instagram or whatever, you'll know that it's pretty like neutral. So the style of my home is like a combination of wabi sabi and California modern. So it's a lot of like neutrals. So that being said, I don't like to have like orange pumpkins or anything like that anywhere. But last year I went on Amazon and I got these like really cute little cozy white pumpkins, and the fabric was like a boucle, like a white boucle. So it's like very chic and it goes well with my home. Also adding wooden candlestick holders. Does that make sense? Is that what it's called? Candlestick holders? Okay, I hope that it is. But you know what I'm talking about, the really long ones. So adding like wooden ones, I think, is a really nice way to add like a fall touch. Obviously, when Halloween comes along, then I'll have like proper Halloween decor, but we're still a while away to go for that. But yeah, like those kinds of little bits and bobs around the house. Also, I think that the easiest way to make like your home feel a little bit more fall is through your bedroom, like the bedding in your bedrooms. So I love Cozy Earth. My code with them is, I believe, Dream Bigger, but they have great bedding, like really nice, like rich colors for fall, which I think is just beautiful. Throw pillows as well is another really great way to add in that fall touch. Just get like darker covers for your pillows. I feel like that's an easy way to just add that touch. Throw blankets as well. Basically anywhere that I can add texture, I do it. So I'm really excited. I'm switching out all of my bedding in the next couple of days. So oh my God, I cannot wait to have like all like really just rich colors in my bedroom and the guest bedroom. It'll be great. And then the last thing that I love doing for my home, you guys, is the smell. So I have candles everywhere, and I use Pura. It's this like plug-in air freshener brand, and they have a bunch of these different candle companies that have come up with scents for them. It's super cool. So right now for Pura, I use the scent pumpkin chai, it's Nest, and then the other one is rose oud. I feel like both of them are really just, again, like very like rich fall scents. And then from the candle front, you guys, Not Your Standard has this candle. I think it's called Ember. It's the red one, like the color of the case is red. It smells like a fireplace. It is the most incredible. It's my favorite candle of all time. I've talked about this loads and loads, but it's beautiful. It comes in this like stunning marble vessel, and it's like an art piece. I have like 3 of her candles. It's really, really good. But get the Ember one because it smells like a fireplace, and it's just perfect for fall. Anytime I light it up, Nish is like, what is that? Like, it's amazing. So highly, highly recommend. Also, that color palette, again, I think goes with like that fall vibe, which I love so much. Okay, so moving on from home decor to fashion. So you guys, a lot of you, when I asked you to send in questions for today's episode being fall reset, a lot of you guys asked for recommendations for fashion. So I'm going to give you guys kind of like overarching things that I look for when it comes to fashion around this time of year. So I think that burgundy / like deep reds are always so beautiful for fall. I love anything navy, dark brown, olive, I think is a really hot color this season as well. So those are kind of the colors that I like to inject into my wardrobe around this time of year. Also like pairing some of those colors, like I think burgundy and navy is just such a chic color combination. I love that. So I have these like beautiful like dark red heels, like patent leather, like burgundy heels, which I'm gonna wear all season long. But yeah, like those like dark injections of color. I think it's a nice way to kind of switch it up from the summer where I wear like a lot of like whites, creams, neutrals. So this is like a nice way to add in colors. And also the great thing about these colors specifically that I've named is that no matter what your wardrobe is, if you add in a few of these pieces, it's not like you have to change things up completely. So that's what I really love about it. And then of course, I'm also really loving anything suede. You guys, I love suede for this season. I have suede boots, suede bags. Like whenever you can get some suede, I think again, it's like such a rich textural fabric, and it just looks really beautiful. It like elevates any look. So again, like leaning into suedes a lot. And then you guys, I personally love using knits and sweaters to layer. So right now, it's honestly not cold enough in LA for me to wear sweaters, but I just love like throwing them on my shoulders. I personally love sweaters from Jenny Kane. I think that they do sweaters so beautifully. I got one of their cardigans last year, and I've been obsessed with the brand since then. I also have a bunch of their things in my home. Like a lot of my accessories are Jenny Kane as well, like throw pillows and stuff like that. But in terms of their clothing, I think that they do the most beautiful knits. So love Jenny Kane for all things knits. So just like throwing it over your shoulders. Also love Suzanne. I think both of those brands are fantastic. For Jenny Kane, I have a code. It's Dream Bigger. So use that as well if you'd like. But yeah, like I think that they do really beautiful, like rich looking knitwear, which I think is really beautiful. In terms of shoes, I have a lot of opinions here, but I think ballet flats are not going anywhere. So it's like a nice way to add that into your wardrobe, if you please. I know that it gets maybe a little bit cold on the East Coast / like certain places. Obviously, we're lucky in California, it only gets so cold. But even if you live in a colder climate before winter kind of sets in, I think pairing ballet flats with even like tights under jeans, so your feet look kind of like sheer black, and then you put the ballet flats on, I think that that's super chic. So love ballet flats. I think as well, slides. So I have been loving anything with shearling. So like either on the inside or outside, having it be fluffy. So yeah, like I would look out for that. Like basically anything, like any slides. So not the sandal slides, but the slides that they're covered. Does that make sense? Like the half loafer type vibe. Love that for the fall. I have a couple of really good pairs. Actually, I have a pair from Rome, which is really cute. I'm very excited to wear those, and they're super, super comfortable. So highly recommend. And then, of course, Uggs. I think Uggs are cute and like very fall vibes. They're comfortable. They're functional. I also plan to wear them right into winter. Obviously, like the slide ones, maybe not all the time outside if I'm in the snow or slush or whatever, but I do love Uggs at this time of year. Also, the last thing I will say is I think, actually, not the last thing. I have two more things to say. Number one is cozy sets. I think having beautiful, like cashmere sets is an easy way to add a fall touch into your outfit. I think if you want to dress it up, doing a blazer on top or a trench coat on top is really chic, but also like functional and comfortable. I also think cashmere sets are a step up from sweatpants. So you guys know this. I don't typically wear sweatpants. I don't like to wear sweats, but I do really like to wear cashmere sets. I think that they're just really elevated. They're still elegant. I can wear them while traveling. And again, like I can dress them up with a blazer. And then the last thing is I would say like dark denim and not just dark denim bottoms, but I love like a dark denim overshirt as well. I think that that's also very fall. You can pair that with like if you are doing like a Canadian tuxedo like that where you have like a dark denim shirt and a dark denim pair of jeans, I would do maybe like a burgundy belt to break it up. I think that that's really beautiful. Actually, my favorite burgundy belt is from Heaven Mayhem. I think it's so chic. My God, it's the bean belt and it's burgundy. Stunning. I have a code. It's CIF15, I believe. I love their belts. Also, another good place to get belts is Orium. Again, they do like really good pieces. I think belts are a nice way to like add in accessorization for fall. Is that a word? I hope so. Accessorization. I think that's a word. Anyway, I think that that's like a nice way to add in like that fall touch with like certain colors like olive and suede, like a nice suede belt I think adds that vibe in as well. So love all of those little pieces for fall. Okay, moving on. Let's talk activities. So I think summer and fall are like such different seasons for me in terms of kind of how I do activities and socialize specifically. So in the summer, I love to go out. I like to plan trips and, you know, just be out and about with my friends. In the fall, I feel like I'm more a homebody. So I still love seeing my friends, but I think it's the time to host. So I want to host my friends over for dinners. I want to have game nights. So those are like the things that I'm really looking forward to. And like when I have friends over, I want to like cook a nice meal versus like in the summer, it was just me getting like a lot of Goop Kitchen for my friends and having like chill like salads at home. Now I really want to like get into like hostess mode. So I really look forward to fall for that reason. I love hosting. I think it's just, I don't know, it's like cozy and I love those nights at home with my friends. So I'm really excited to host a lot of dinners at my house. Also game nights, as I said. Again, I think that there's something so like cozy and fun about having friends over for game nights with like maybe some wine or non-alcoholic beverages, like whatever it is. It's just fun. Yeah, so I plan on doing both of those a lot. Something that Nish and I did last year, which I'm definitely going to redo again, and this is like a fun like date idea, is over the weekend, I think it was like sometime in October, we had a movie night or movie day at home, and it was so needed because we're both very go, go, go. And so we just had one day, it was like a Saturday where we literally did nothing. We like were on the couch, had movies playing all day, like took naps. And then what I did was we painted pumpkins. It was so fun. So we just bought a whole bunch of pumpkins from Whole Foods, and I put newspapers on the ground and then bought some paint from Amazon, and we just had so much fun painting these pumpkins. Honestly, I'm not a good artist by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was this like it was just so like fun and playful and not serious, and I had the most fun with it. And it was just, I don't know, it got me creative in a different kind of way. So if you've not done that, even if you are someone who's not naturally a good like artist, I think it's a really fun way to be creative. And then we took those pumpkins and just put them out on our porch, and it was just fun. Like it was nothing like stunning, but it was a fun activity for us to do. So I think that that's a really nice like date night idea. You can also do that with your girlfriends, to be honest. Like everyone goes and paints pumpkins. So last year, one of my friends, Bo, had a pumpkin painting party at her house. She does it like every year, and she did it around like close to Halloween time. And this pumpkin painting party was like so serious. Like she had thousands of like art supplies. Like it was a competition. It was really fun. So I feel like, again, that's a really nice idea to have with your girlfriends or friends or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that that's just a fun way to be creative. And then movies. Okay, so I told you guys we were watching movies when we were doing this pumpkin painting thing, and I think movies are just so fun in the fall. You guys know I don't watch a ton of TV, but I love to kind of rewatch my comfort movies / TV shows. So I reserved the Harry Potter series specifically for the fall. Like I was coming back from Europe and they had the entire Harry Potter series on the plane, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not watching this until it's the 1st of October. And I don't know, there's just something to watching that on like a cozy night or during the day. I love the Harry Potter series during fall. I think it's just so cozy. Around Halloween time. Okay, so something you guys should know about me, I hate horror movies. I just can't do them. It's not worth it. I feel like they age me. I think they age everyone because of the spike in cortisol that you have throughout that like 2-hour period. It cannot be healthy, you guys. So anyway, that's my hot take, is horror movies are just not good for you. But the one horror-ish movie that I love is Sleepy Hollow. I don't know why I love it so much, you guys, but I've been watching it every year for years now. So around Halloween, that's like the movie that I like watching. Again, I feel like it's a comfort movie kind of. So that's, and like, it's like Johnny Depp in his prime. He's so hot in that movie. So love Sleepy Hollow. Also, like, going in a completely different direction from Sleepy Hollow, Casper. The Casper movies are so fun. So when I was doing pumpkin painting last year, I had a couple of Casper movies on back to back, and they were just like so fun and light and, again, like comforting. And then from a more serious angle, Cruel Intentions. I don't know, something about it is very fall vibes. It's not horror or anything like that, but I just think that there's something so fall about the whole environment of Cruel Intentions, like the theme. I don't know, it gives me fall vibes. Love Knives Out as well. Matilda, you guys, I loved that movie when I was little, and I rewatched it last year and I just thought it was really fun. And then Devil Wears Prada. I don't know, something about it. It's like the scenes where they're in Paris and like all of that, I think gives me like real fall vibes, and I love it. And then from a TV shows standpoint, I think Gilmore Girls is ultimate fall comfort show. I just think it's like cozy and feel good, and you're never in a bad mood after watching Gilmore Girls, truthfully. So if you've not watched that series, I highly recommend you do. It's just fun. It's like a good time. A couple of years ago, I watched Wednesday, which I really enjoyed. I know that they only have one season, and season 2, I don't know when it'll come out, but again, it's like a fun TV show to watch around Halloween time. Also, Sabrina. The last season I didn't like at all, but up until the last season, I thought it was like a fun show. So I think that that's another good one to watch around like October-ish. And lastly, Stranger Things. You guys, Stranger Things, that's like the highest threshold that I have for anything scary. And the order in which I watched it was I started watching it in season 2. And Nish had caught me up on everything, so it wasn't scary for me because I kind of missed that like whole suspense part where, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but if you're someone who scares easy, maybe start from season 2 first and then go into season 1. So I feel like these are the TV shows / movies that I'm really excited to rewatch for fall. Okay, so now I want to move on to questions that I got from you guys. So the first one was how to recover post burnout. So I've experienced burnout, and when you are going through burnout, it is truly the worst because I think like it's the craziest feeling. Like you're just exhausted and you have no explanation for why you're so exhausted, and you don't know when you will stop being exhausted. So I think number 1 is being really gentle on yourself and don't gaslight yourself. You know, I remember I went through burnout once and I was so mad at myself because I was like, well, why aren't you working? And you know what? You're just burnt out. So you have to be gentle. You have to be nice to yourself. Don't gaslight yourself into thinking that you're being lazy. You're not being lazy. It's just your body is literally revolting from everything that you've done to it. I feel like being really gentle and doing things that nourish you is important. So making sure that you have boundaries around your work, or like rather non-negotiables, I think. So for me, no matter what, in the mornings I have a certain routine that I follow. I feel like that keeps me sane. Around dinner time, I'm not someone who works. I know that cooking, for example, is really meditative, so I'll do that. I'll take Sundays off. So if you are recovering from burnout, number one, doing those things that really nourish you, spending time with people you love, doing things that make you really happy, the same way that you treat yourself if you were actually sick, So when, say like you're having you have the flu or you have a cold or you're just not feeling well. And remember when you were a kid and you'd have those days where you're off from school because you're not feeling well and you're just being comforted by all of these things at home, soup or your favorite food, or just watching TV and just doing these things that nourish your soul. That's what I would do to recover from burnout. And that's actually what I did. And that was what worked for me. It wasn't just pushing myself to work before I was ready. I had to take a week off, I remember. And after that, I just became really kind of particular about what I was doing to ensure that I wasn't getting burnt out. So that's what I would say. Second question is self-care after a big successful launch. So I think same vein, right? I think self-care, just finding the things that make you really happy. I think self-care is really different for everyone. For some people, it's a bath. I personally could not hate being in a bath more. So a bath just doesn't work for me, but I know which practices really work for me. So taking a long time with journaling, or going to bed earlier so I can have more time to read. And then of course, when I do have a big successful launch, really taking the time to celebrate that too. So spending time with Nish, maybe going out with our team, whatever it is, doing something to kind of commemorate the moment. Because I think when you own a business, or even if you don't own a business, if you're just someone who is career oriented or goal oriented, I think something that tends to happen is you work really hard on this launch or whatever it is, and then you hit it and you're kind of over it and on to the next. But something that I started to do intentionally, I want to say it was early last year, so it's almost been 2 years. What I started to do was just being really intentional about making sure that we took time to celebrate the whatever was happening. And I'm actually really proud of myself because earlier this year, we had a launch, and it was on a Thursday, it was on a Wednesday, and we had planned on doing a celebration on Friday, but we were on such a high that I was like, Nish, let's just go out tonight to celebrate this. And just being in the moment and feeling the feelings of having a successful launch, being able to celebrate right there in the moment, I think is big. So those are my tips and tricks. Okay, next up is how to choose a travel destination. So everyone is different here. I think understanding what is important to you. For Nish and I over the summer, it's actually really important that we go to one kind of beach destination. And when we do that, our goal is really just to spend as much time in the water as we can. We also really like to have some time with friends while we travel. So that is also an important element, and it helps us pick the destination. What else? Yeah, I just think understanding what's important to you. And so that's one trip that we do in the summer. Another one is, for example, I really like history. And so having that, whether it's in a, right before the beach or at some point in the summer, is really important. And then we love to ski in the winter. And so now we've been going to Courchevel for 4 years, so that's the Alps. But before that, we experimented with a whole bunch of different destinations until we found somewhere that we wanted to keep going back to. So, how to choose travel destinations? Honestly, it's just about what your interests are. For example, with a beach destination, just experiment with a whole bunch of different destinations until you find the one that you maybe want to keep going back to. Or if you're someone who likes to go to a different place every time, that's also fine and good. for one of the weeks that we were away, we were in the south of Spain in Andalusia, and that destination was actually picked by my family. So my parents really wanted to go to Andalusia, so we decided to go with them on my family trip. And so, yeah, that was like a nice way to pick the destination too, just based on what my parents wanted, and I was really excited to go as well, just because I'd never been. So yeah, I would say it's highly subjective, but don't be afraid to experiment and try different things. Okay, how to plan for trips. So I am as type A as can be when it comes to planning trips. I usually do them on my own, but this time for Andalusia specifically, I worked with Pelican Club, which is a travel agency, like a luxury travel agency, so they helped with that. But what I like to do is the following when I do my own trips, which is 99% of the time. So when I have my destination, the first thing I do is book my hotel, and then from there I pick like all the activities I want to do, or and not just and the restaurants that I want to hit. So after I book my hotel, the first thing I will do is ask the hotel to book the restaurants that I want to hit. And then I usually do my day according to that. So as an example, we went to Paris last December, and in that trip, basically, like, I picked the hotel, and then from there picked the restaurants, and then had certain tours lined up so that it would work around the restaurant reservations that we had, like in terms of the neighborhoods. And that's just because food is an important part of our trips. So I really do prioritize that, and I want to make sure that I hit both like the art history piece and then the food piece. So those are the two things that we really prioritize. And then I have an entire Excel sheet that I've created, and in that I have like basically the date, the hotel, what we're doing for lunch, dinner, and activities. And so I have all of that right there in front of my eyes under one kind of source of truth, and I find that having that is really helpful. Next question is how to make traveling more affordable. So I have 3 tips here. Number 1, I personally love hotels.com, and that's because their reward system is really good. So basically what they do is you book 10 nights, and then your 11th night is like you get to take off the average of what you spent on the 10 nights. Does that make sense? So say, for example, you book 10 hotels, they're all $400 each. Then for the 11th night, you get to pick a hotel and take $400 off whatever the price of the hotel is. So, you know, it could be, the whole thing could be free if the night is $400, or if you really go all out and you book somewhere for $800, you only pay $400. Does that make sense? So I've been using hotels.com for years. I think the free night thing is really, really helpful, and I love it. The other thing is credit card points. I think that it's really important to select a credit card that gives you the right kind of points so that you can redeem it for flights. We personally use the Chase Sapphire. We love it. But yeah, that's like a good card. The other one is the American Express Green Card, I believe, gives you quite a lot of points as well. So yeah, just do your research, pick credit cards that work for you in terms of from a points perspective. And then the last tip that I have is Built Rewards. So I love Built Rewards because it's an app that allows you to get points when you pay rent. And I've never seen any other app do this. I think it's genius. So basically you pay your rent through Built, you get points for it, and then you get to redeem those points for either like flights or hotels. Like, they have a bunch of hotel partners. I think their flight options are incredible. So highly, highly recommend looking into Built as well. Okay, I think I hit most of like the questions either through the episode itself or here in the Q&A, but I'm just going to do one final review of my Instagram to see if I have time to do any others. Yeah, I think I hit everything. Oh, the last one is actually, I can hit this. Ideas for closing out the day, work from home girly, struggling to shut my mind off from work. So yeah, I do have a suggestion here. Until it gets too dark, I highly recommend a sunset walk, and then ending your day with basically, like, when I go into bed, I've talked about this, I'm not looking at my phone and I'm reading, and my time to read is my time to kind of disconnect from everything that's going on. So I read fiction before bed. So I feel like I have those two things that help me bookend my day. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope you loved this episode, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.